Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a day with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In the yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the old well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Titan Vanquisher League. We have a very exciting matchup for you guys today. We got true-minded gaming Paladins up against the Fools 5 Monarchs. Week 3 of the season, starting to get to the midpoint here. I'm joined by Wolfie. How you doing today?
Doing great. Got some fantastic sets, like you said earlier. Fools 5, they're 1-1 right now, and they've actually gone game 3 for every single one. For the better, for the worse, since they are. But TMG Paladins, they are currently winless and gameless. So, you know, not the best look, but there's plenty of things to be done early on the season. I mean, come on. You're not Dignitas, at least. There's a much more fates.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, we're bringing in Dignitas. You skip right over Disguised and all that. But anyway.
Toast has a win. At least they have a win.
Did Dignitas beat?
No.
Anyway, this is not the league we're supposed to be talking about right now. We're supposed to be talking about Titan. So we are about to head into draft here, but first things first, as you mentioned, True-Minded Gaming, probably not the start that they were looking for, but definitely still relatively early on in the season, still can turn it around, as it were. But Fools 5, going to 3 games every single week, obviously having some close matchups, showing that there's some hopefully very good action coming our way, up and coming. What are you looking for from these teams as we head into draft here? What are you looking for Fools 5 to make sure that they can turn this one into a win as well?
Well, they just need to really strategize their bans around against Titans. So Stone Cold, or whatever the tag they go for, as well as with the mid. But it's Meta Shift that's currently like the big one that has a lot of eyes on there. It has an insane Nico, and just as I say that, it does get banned away. Nico on that jungle does not want to risk it. I get it. I understand. Like, you just don't want to do it. Real strong champion, as well as Amumu. One of those characters that can really make team fighting just so much easier. There's a lot of benefit to having an easier kit on a champion because you can just execute your game plan in a simple way, and we're seeing to see the other brands on TMG's end.
Yep, absolutely. So Nico and Amumu taken off the board already here for the side of Fools 5, and then Nar and Hui on the other side. Nefiri, very meta pick. Just get that out of there. No one wants dogs in their League of Legends games. One of my favorite champions, Wukong, on the other side banned as well. What do you think this is angling for early on here in the draft for both these teams?
So what we're seeing already from both sides is they're really getting rid of like team fight power picks that have like ultimates that are just hugely game changing. Like Wukong with the disruption power, and as well as early game pressure can be a huge menace to deal with, and as well as Nar being a ranged pick, one of the most reliable ones, being able to use the huge ult. And we're starting to see the Azir as the first pick been one of the most reliable like champions in all of League history. It's just been the staple that control, puppet mage that you need to learn in League of Legends in order to really put yourself up on there. But it does leave you vulnerable to certain picks. So Syndra, and as well as, oh god, come on, brain.
Senna.
This is Senna, yes.
There we go.
Squad, the Senna, and the Syndra.
A lot of S's here. Zaya, S sound. But anyway, Senna, very, very late scaling, is probably, again, a lot like, similar to Jhin, is a hard hitter rather than a fast hitter. So definitely looking for a bit of that late game assurance here. But on the other side, picking up probably the most cover of jungler in the entire game. Vi, easy ganks, a lot of mobility. And then also that defensiveness out of the Zaya. But on the other side, it's going to be Trundle picked up, which has picked up a whole lot of popularity in the jungle role, especially in competitive. So definitely excited to see that.
Really interested about the Galio ban. I feel like that's like a fine to leave open, as well as because when Galio activates like all their abilities and as well as like the mastery, you just Trundle and then Galio just kind of gets eaten alive. And plus the fact, I can see why, because they wouldn't pick it because Zaya has such an easy time kind of getting around it by utilizing her ult. And we're seeing Tahm Kench actually striked away, want to avoid the Senna Tahm Kench. I get it. Lots of trauma behind that one. I understand, But we're starting to see as well as the Rakan.
Yeah, it was a lot scarier, obviously, when Tahm Kench was the one farming. But as Senna is, once again, a farming ADC, it feels like it changes, every month. But right now, she is a farming ADC. But definitely getting rid of that Zaya Rakan, definitely a good option there. But we finally see that support coming out for the Senna. It is going to be the Nautilus. So again, very, very easy, simple. Just throw out the hook and engage. And it's Rel going to be picked up on the other side as that counter.
Yeah, really good picks on both the ends, but I'm kind of worried about TMG Paladins kind of going for a really late game centralized game plan, and as well as because I feel like that a lot of teams, they try to go for it, especially in these kind of divisions.
I think Poppy would be so good here.
Yeah,
I thought Poppy would have been a really, really good. Would have stopped, I think, a lot of the engage from the Rel by and Bessa, but obviously Renekton, probably one of the safest top laners in the entire game. Multiple dashes, lots of healing. It is a very, very safe pick, and such a very good mid game spike. So definitely a good pick coming out here for Barcode in the top lane. I believe that is how you say the top laner's name, but I apologize if I'm wrong. And so overall, we have both of these team comps worked out for both of these squads. Trundle is indeed in the jungle, and obviously very hyperscaling mid bot here for TMG. What are you looking for this team? Because again, they have been struggling a little bit in the early parts of the season. So what are you looking for TMG? How are they going to execute this comp in order to make sure that they can get a win here over Fools 5?
I mean, it's a little like tricky because I was talking about earlier how you like want to be careful with late game team comps. Like it's an insurance policy, and I can get it with like with the bot lane. It's just a really strong one, but Rel is just such a huge threat. Like not as much as really before, but just being able to be worried about a Vi gank that can occur at like level 2 if you're scary enough with that. And as well as you're having that kind of like good safety. There's a lot of team fight presence on Fools 5 that I'm personally worried about for Paladins to deal with.
Okay, and then so if you are you in that case, are you leaning more towards Fools 5 having been an advantage, at least in the team fight aspect of this game?
Yeah, because TMG, like, they're trying to, like, hunker down, and I can see why they wouldn't want to pick Poppy, even though I think that would have been an insane pick. I feel like that she would just provide so much in here. Like, they're trying to have Renekton with that kind of pressure in the top side, because it feels like every single lane, besides maybe Syndra having a threat with just being able to, like, use your QE quickly. Like, Nautilus is going to have a hard time finding a hook angle if Xayah just plays it safe, because if Rel gets hooked, then Rel's going to have a fantastic time just getting a free engage on the back line. But in all honesty, I'm more so curious to see how the mid lane matchup will go. I feel like if one just starts snowballing and then they're able to get a roam, if Azir gets ahead, it's a nightmare situation. But if Syndra can get the stack started, then it's a whole different like situation that you can be in. And for full 5's Monarchs, they want to make sure maybe it's not a game 5, they game 3, I should say, and try to continue and keep on winning. But Paladins, their backs are against the wall, which can provide either some decision making that's more risky, which because you really just want to win, you want to get a dub, you want to get that mental started. But we'll have to see what it is.
I am very excited to see so. Personally, I think it's a lot easy. I mean, again, as a lower ranked player than this squad, I usually like going for the more simple champions. You know, the Nautilus, the Trundle, Renekton. Senna isn't like, I mean, in my experience, isn't as mechanically intensive as a lot of other ADCs, but especially those first 3 are very, very simple, very, very easy to execute. And then you look on the other side, I could not, if I attended college for the next 4 years, I still could not play Azir if I was only studying him. He is one of those champions that I will never be touching because he is just so incredibly complicated to execute, in my opinion. So looking at, these harder to execute champions like the Azir, like the Ambessa, I generally am leaning a bit more towards TMG's comps because I feel like it is easier to execute. But with that being said, final predictions coming from you. Who takes game 1 here with looking at these 2 team comps?
It just depends. If TMG get blasted early, you're gonna have a hell of a hard time, like getting a comeback started. And as well as my struggle is, I like full 5s. I think their team comp, it may be a little bit harder to pilot, but on the end of TMG, they have to land like a lot of skill shot CC. And there's only one point and click, but how the hell is Renekton gonna get in with such a good front line that full 5 have like already built up?
Yeah, fair enough. We will have to wait and see, but we will be going to a quick break here, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Titan Vanquisher action just after this. And I'm just being told we are not going to a break, so I do apologize for that. We are going to be jumping into game here fairly soon, I believe. So then let's talk a little bit more about these comps here. So for the first one, especially early on, where are you kind of expecting these junglers to path towards? Because again, when you're looking at easier setup at least in the Renekton, you also see a lot of very easy setup with the Nautilus as well. So if you were meta shift, where would you want to see your jungler influencing early on in the game?
I mean, if you're meta shift, you definitely just need to watch out for Vi's pressure. Like in a pure 1v1, Trundle's gonna win. Like that champ is busted in those 1v1s, and especially like being able to kind of scrap. And both Azir and Syndra have the capabilities of being able to assist quickly, because Azir can do the shuffle inside, or Syndra can just use a long-range QE for a really good stun. But in that aspect, it's really up to, I think Metashift just needs to like keep an eye out for the Vi, calling out like where she could possibly be. Because the good thing about Renekton is that the character is not only just solid, but sets up ganks like super, super well because of a point and click stun, which is like a really underrated ability to have in League of Legends. There's skill shots, but the thing is that the other player is not going to let you try to hit them for free. They're going to try to get away with it, and having a point and click one with 2 dashes as well to get in twice or get in and out is going to be a huge aspect in how this matchup will go. But like I said earlier, still worried about just not getting blasted early game. That's all you need to do for a TMG. They just need to make sure that you can successfully get to mid game. Hopefully not let too much damage happen to the towers and the plates. And hopefully we'll be able to weather that storm and continue on to try to break their losing streak. Because remember, keep in mind, they have not won a game yet.
And now is the time for action for this squad. Very, very exciting as we hop into game here. Unfortunately, does not look like we'll have any level 1 shenanigans. Those are always fun to see. But it looks like just standard 5-point for both of these squads. So we already talked about where we wanted meta shift to go. And you were talking about how point and click is very, very crucial. Or like very, very beneficial, which obviously it is. But if you look on the other side, you have point and click ultimate, like guaranteed lockdown in the Vi. Where are you expecting Chris to kind of influence these lanes early on?
I mean, if you're Chris, you're just gonna... Yeah, I mean, you start bot side, of course. I feel like that they're positioning for Raptors, and as well as seeing if they can try to get like a level, like an early level gank with bot lane if the Senna just kind of pushes too much. But in that aspect, I think Chris is more likely gonna secure the top side river and just kind of say like, hey, I'm gonna wait to see if there's like a gank that Metashift will try to do early. Just kind of keeping Metashift in check at first, and then hopefully we'll be able to supply that CC later in the game. But right now, the mid-wave management is going to be so important for the Syndra to see. Maybe you can set up a gank and just try to set up a freeze near the tower because of the jungle pressure you'll have. But this top lane matchup, Renekton may be good, but she's busted.
And best
There's no other way to put it.
though.
Yeah.
that is going to be the difference in this matchup as well. Amessa, no CC outside of her ultimate on her own, but definitely has a lot more mobility, able to get onto those champions as a lot quicker than a lot of other top laners. However, what I'm excited about is both both junglers are starting bot side, pathing towards that top lane, which means we will likely be getting some crab fights or some counter ganks top side. But with also engaged supports, I am just looking for action across this map, and I am very excited. We have the Vi already, the Trundle already moving towards that top side. Vi soon to follow. Again, you're talking about this mid lane matchup already. It looks like higher echelon is getting the better of his opponent right now. What needs to be happen for Icebound to make sure that they can come back in this lane here?
I mean, you're willing to take this at the start. Like, it's just kind of normal for Azir to just show up successfully. And a really good trade topside. I'm hearing flashes go off. I believe that was the things that happened on their mid lane. Staying alive! Oh my goodness.
Just barely higher echelon able to get out of that. Fortunately, we didn't see how the trade went down. But as we were saying, Icebound was falling behind, but obviously did something to get him back into it. But unfortunately, here comes the Vi. Channeling, does have flash, flashes forward, and Icebound might try to trade it back, but it's just going to be first blood going over to Chris here in the mid lane.
That was good. Had bone plating up, was just ready for it, and then Icebound, that's the problem. You really can't, like, you really have to respect Vi's pressure. And are you going to miss crab as well? No, the smite should be able to come in there, yeah. Don't let it happen. You open to get it on there, but that's just like, there's like no vision in the top side. I feel like that was just a really disrespectful play to just be pushed up that much, especially since you have TP as well. Like, you could have gone back, get like the tempo and set up on there, but missed opportunities. That's what they happen at that level, and junglers need to exploit them. So, real good start.
Very good play here by Chris. As we go into the replay here, we're going to be able to see what happens. So very good stun, and then higher echelon goes in, but has no mana, it looks like. And that's going to be the difference between that and the last auto. Just not enough to take out the Azir, so definitely rough. And then Chris just using the flash to make sure that the mid laner goes down. And higher echelon doesn't get the kill, but will be able to fix his wave and make sure that, even though they get first blood, still able to come out a bit ahead in that exchange.
Yeah, I mean, it even feels worse for our Smell Bad, right? You're like, oh, maybe I can get a kill because the Azir dash forward, the shield from the dash in, and bone plating triggered at the same time. So it was just a perfect amount of CC on there, but we have a fight down bot lane.
Here we go. We got a fight going on in the bot lane. Looks like the Rel is trying to peel for his ADC as much as he can. Solo Mason doesn't have any mana. Oh! The Ignite is down. Solo Mason flashes forward and will be able to get that first kill, but it's traded back on the other side as the Ignite will take out the Rel. And meanwhile, it looks like Hexify is trying to get it out here, but Vi is here. Doesn't have the flash, The Q is not quite enough to be able to hit the Senna, and it looks like it is just going to be a trade of supports for this exchange. So 1-1 overall, and 2-1 now in favor of Fools 5. Meanwhile, we have a bit of fighting here in the mid lane as well. I Smell Bad is trying to make their escape. They have no flash, but doesn't look like Higher Echelon is going to chase into the river.
Here comes Bento. No wards, no vision, no vision.
There is no wards. There is no wards. I Smell Bad does not know that this is happening.
Oh no, but you can't be missing those QEs.
And now Fortress Door is here to try and back up his mid laner as much as he can. The wave is now going to be pushed in all the way to the tower, so it doesn't look like any other shenanigans will be happening. But Vi, noticing that her jungle is gone, you can see the missing pigs already coming down. But as we head into a replay here, as we could look at this exchange here in the bot lane, so it starts off with a hook here from Fortress Door, and then I believe it was Hexify who landed the W onto Solo Mason, and it just looked like Bento was just trying to peel as much as he can, and Solo Mason just flashing forward, but there is the Ignite that will get the rel overall, but Chris just showing up a little bit late, not really able to influence this play at all, as Dragon has now started up here for the side of Fools 5.
Yeah, lots of top lane pressure that Trundle was able to exert, but you're giving up Dragon in response, so Hextrick will be secured. Just like that, and like you said earlier with this Renekton, so far the pressure has been really good, taking advantage of it, but Mbessa, it's like living on borrowed time. You know how crazy that character can get. And missing a stun opportunity, and here comes the pressure. Thank goodness that hook did not land. I think Fortress Door dies.
The same thing. I thought Fortress Door would not want that hook to hit, but maybe he had some shenanigans that he felt like he could pull off there. Maybe he had his W back up or something. But the smite coming down here from Chris secures the blue buff. So yeah, you managed to Meta Shift managed to snag a couple of his camps topside, but Chris managing to try and equal it up at least a little bit by retaking that blue buff. Meanwhile, it looks like more shenanigans won't really be happening here on the side, but Meta Shift is in the area and could look for something here.
Yeah, but it's too late, right? Like, Meta Shift just pushing upwards, but yeah, they already know. They can sense something's up.
Yeah, both these junglers are 6, both supports still 5, so we could look for something here. There's no objective, so it's a little...
They're going for it, but there's this is wasted time. Like, look at this Vi, just able to keep collecting farm and still positioned for it, and now Trundle is forced to go away. They're going for it?
Okay.
No way,
yeah,
you just have to back up.
There is no flash on either of these teams, and I Smell Bad has roamed down, but looks like nothing is going to come of it, at least not yet. Hexify is just trying to get this wave pushed in, but unfortunately not able to get it all the way in, means it is in a bit of an awkward spot, but here we go in mid lane. Higher Echelon is likely going to be safe, is still that Azir, as Instrument is still fighting with Barcode up here in the top lane, and we haven't really seen much action here in this top lane, but we can see the Renekton has about a 15 minion advantage, probably going to be evened up a bit as Instrument catches this wave, but you know, both these junglers pathing towards this top lane didn't really amount to anything.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Fortress Door is caught, and down he goes. That's the feats of warfare claimed, as that's the kill picked up here by Bento in the bot lane. Solo Mason very low on mana, but is still going to be able to get that wave pushed in. Now 3-1 here for Fools 5.
What happened, right? Like, isolated by yourself. Let's take a look at the replay real quick. Position upwards. You have the minion advantage, guys. So you just back up. They got caught recalling.
It was a lazy recall. That
it was
is
a lazy
not what
recall.
You want to see. Fortress Door doesn't have 6. Can't use his ultimate to escape. Has no flash.
Here we go.
Angle, but here we go. We got to fight up
Missed.
here in the top lane as well. I Smell Bad, flashing the Azir wall, making sure he can get out. Higher Echelon, now forced to run away. Still has the flash, but doesn't use it. And down he goes. Syndra picking up the kill.
A huge blunder with the ult just completely missing. And honestly, that's a real good kill to get. They'll be go ahead and secure the top side, and as well as all the buffs in between. Pushing up, Void Grubs will be secured. I don't know. Those are the moments where you're like, you're Azir. Like, I'm feeling myself be able to get this ult and shuffle on hand, and you just miss it. And it's a really bad kill to miss out, a real bad engage, kind of making up for it. But I'm still worried about this bot lane, but if you really look at the numbers, Senna's not doing too bad in the farming department.
Absolutely. I think primarily what you're looking for is we're going to look at the replay here first. So looking at these grubs, it is red side on the advantage. Oh, it's the flash in from the Vi, but none of his teammates are able to follow up, and then I Smell Bad is just able to flash the Azir wall. So now they have just dove in with no real way out, and so just a really good counter engagement. Meanwhile, we have some more action here around the mid lanes. I Smell Bad pushing the enemy away, but now Fortress Door is kind of locked down. Will he be able to get to the cone? He will not. So that's going to be a rebound kill here for Higher Echelon, as that likely Dragon actually not for another 45 seconds ish or 50 seconds ish. So not likely going to result in anything other than a kill here.
Yep. Gets it, and a nice little whoa, what? I just saw Renekton like just dash in, and it got me real scared, but hold up. No way you get caught by that!
Hexify, unfortunately, in the wrong place, does use the flash. The root is there, waiting for perhaps Hexify did not run further, but it will eventually go down. Solo Mason, I believe, still has the ultimate. There he goes, he uses it in meta shift, flashing, will be able to dodge the root, but now here comes Fortress Door as well, but this actually might just be really, really bad here for the side of TMG, as the ultimate comes through to just kind of save his life, but Vi has arrived as well, and down the Nautilus will go. That was a very long exchange back and forth, a lot of great plays, a lot of weird plays, but ultimately that is a win for the side of FFM.
What just happened? So much scrapping occurred on here. We take a look at the replay. It started out with some mid shenanigans. Does Syndra lands the stun? Yeah, 0 to death. No, you should, first of all, if you're high echelons, that's entirely disrespectful to let that happen to you.
I believe that happened during this play, so unfortunately we missed it. But fortunately, again, Hexify just getting caught just leads to this whole exchange here. I thought he outsmarted them with the bush play, but unfortunately Solo Mason was not fooled, still able to take him out. That would have been so clean if Hexify was able to get out with that play, but definitely a bit of a tough pill to swallow here for the side of TMG.
Yeah, but Zuz, like what? Oh, what a flash. Just
good flash, but Fortress Door with the good hook, making sure that the mid laner is forced to flash away. But Dragon was taken by the side of FFM. So what I wanted to say earlier before all of this started was that obviously with both of these teams more angling towards team fighting rather than split push, Dragons are going to be so much more important than the Grubs, because really neither of these teams want to play in that side lane. Like, you could argue maybe a case for Renekton or Ambessa, but like ultimately they want a team fight as well. So definitely going to be in the an advantage for FFM here. Here we go. Higher Echelon doesn't have the flash, but is going to be saved by his jungler for now. Meta shift now with half health and a very low health mid laner, just forced to walk away.
I'm still confused why Senna was there, right? Like, she was just disrespectfully standing in front of her Rel saying, you know, you won't do this to me. That's exactly what's going to happen. And Rel,
it may have been a Hex Flash play. Like, I don't think we saw the events that led directly up to it. But definitely, you still have to keep that in mind. Like, you can't...
with no support, too. Like, you're Senna. Exactly. You don't have a dash, and then try to stall as long as you can. It was a good stall. I love the bush play. You mentioned it earlier. Just kind of
I thought the Senna had them, so definitely a little sad that that clean play didn't end up working, but definitely would have been cool to see.
Oh, and this mid lane's getting really scrappy. Like, I was thinking that Higher Echelon will be able to get that like early gank lead and kind of run with it. But they're just kind of standing up really disrespectfully. Like, you saw that at the beginning, right? Like, at the start where they got killed in that. It's like, why are you standing there? Like, you know Syndra can burst you 100 to 0. Like, she's very strong in the mid game if she's able to land her full combo. And we're starting to see the lane swap already happen. I respect this, and I like it. You don't want this Renekton to get any more.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we haven't really seen any action. So I am not aware of this strategy, but the Death Dance Rush here for Renekton. Definitely curious to see. I'm going to see if this pays off later. I Smell Bad. Looking here for Higher Echelon, but Azir is just able to dash. I think dodging that Q, making sure that he could get away, but it's a meta shift getting caught here in the top lane, and Fortress Door just kind of forced to run away as the rest of the squad is here. Higher Echelon is low, but here we go. The re-engage coming out from the Nautilus does get the double knock up, but the rest of his team has backed away and left him to die as that is going to be another kill picked up here from FFM as they are slamming at this point TMG.
I feel like the TP was a little unnecessary there. Like this is a Nautilus that's 1 in 5. They're not worth that much gold, but forcing out the flash is really good. Making sure that, you know, the next fight, I can just kind of flash Q, go for a Vault Breaker, and as well just land a free ult, and being able to kind of use it from there. So a good timer to work on. So I Smell Bad definitely has to be respectful of it. But no TP, and a recall is happening, so Renekton will feel kind of brazen to just keep pushing it up on here, get a lot of damage at the start, potentially can break it, but take a look at this replay.
Right. As we go into the replay, did not know multiple were in the bush. The ultimate comes in from the Vi as well. No flash on Trundle means no real way out, but the re-engage from Fortress Door looked like didn't look like his team's on the same page. As just Hexify and I Smell Bad were walking away as he was re-engaging. So definitely,
she's dead. Keep her there. Keep her in the pit.
Instrument is looking, but Fortress Door is here, but here comes the rest of the squad as Solo Mason is showing up as well. The ultimate comes through from Instrument, and I Smell Bad goes down, and Nautilus, once again, the squishiest champion in the game, will fall. 2 more kills going over to FFM.
You know, Barcode's putting his hands on his head saying, like, I did such a good job. Make sure this Mbessa didn't get anything. And all of a sudden, she's quite up ahead. Insane engage with the flash. A lot of damage, but look at this. Barely stays alive.
Chris almost goes down, but now it's Hexify looking for something in return. But now a Barcode is here as well. Chris is still very low. Bento hops the wall. So yeah, very, very good engage as the tower fell. It's going to be now the 3rd dragon going over to the side of FFM. So now with a 3k gold lead as well as 3 dragons, they're just fully in control of this game at this point.
It feels like the #1 thing that's happening right here is the lack of respect. Like, we're walking up that floor, goes on there with the flash engage. Here it comes.
We got another engage coming out. Here's the Solo Mason has dropped the ult already. The root does land, so Fortress Storm might be able to get out if there wasn't a very, very scary top laner there. Will invest the flash as well, but that just means the kill will be going over to someone else. As Solo Mason grabs that one, it's going to be another kill picked up from the Vi as Chris is now unstoppable on this jungle. And that is going to be yet another 2 kills as the bot lane goes down yet again for the side of TMG.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a rite of passage for your Nautilus to either, it's like feast or famine. You're either like not dying at all, or you're gonna die 7 times because you're forced on here. But lack
I feel
of
like
vision.
This play was so long ago, but
yeah,
like it's just so much has happened in that interim. But definitely 2 kills picked up here from the Mbessa is just, again, I don't know what the situation was that caused I Smell Bad to be in that pit. But with no flash, like, of course there's no way you could get out. Like, that is just very, very, again, just positioning has been the name of the game here so far for the side of TMG, as they just find themselves in the wrong places at the wrong time. As Instrument gets, again, both these top laners are just kind of trading at this point. But here we go. Another replay in the mid lane here as the Rift Herald summoned up. Chris is half health, flashes forward and just lands it onto meta shift as the tower falls. And will still be able to get out. Hexify just barely able to walk away. Just another really, really, really great setup play here for FFM, who are, again, just really running the map here at this point.
Yeah, and, you know, Zaz, I think the name of the game, it's not just positioning, it's just respect. Like, you need to understand, like, hey, don't be pushing up this far because, you know, Vi will go ahead and just get that engage. It's really important to kind of keep it on back. Here it comes in already. What was I talking about with respect?
What another play. Just play safe, ADC. You'll be fine. As again, under the tower, down they go.
Oh.
The flash here from the Azir. That will get both of these enemies in that exchange. And now I Smell Bad is forced to flash as well. Higher echelon, playing with fire and executing perfectly to make sure they can get both of those kills, and he's still able to walk away. Again, that's now 3 more kills picked up as this is snowballing out of control.
It's like, come on, you know Vi's gonna go on you. We know that. You know that. The observers know that. You just have to always be constantly aware, and I think it's just because of the lack of vision. Yeah, look, there's no wards on the side for any of them to be able to see anything, so you just kind of get pieced up, and then Trundle's just trying to get away. Nautilus should not have hooked in. You just want to try to get away as soon as possible, but a nice little flash and Shuffle secures it out there. And here comes the clutch shield just in time to make it so that it will not execute out higher echelon. But this game, like you said earlier, it is spiraling out of control.
Absolutely. Again, it felt a bit back and forth in the beginning, but just as soon as a couple plays go the wrong way here for TMG, as you said, if they get behind early, they are going to struggle, as right now, already facing down a 7k gold deficit. They are going to fight yet again, as they are swept away here by the Syndra. The ultimate does come through from Syndra was the one that swept them away. But here we go.
Hold
the
up.
Flash forward from the Redacted will be able to get one, and it's a shutdown as Vi goes down. This might have been the fight to turn this game around, as it's 2 already picked up here for the side of TMG. And now Otacon with the jungler dead. As with the support, this might be the first objective that is actually going to really tilt the scales back in favor of TMG here, but with them
look at mid
focusing the objective, they are just focusing down the mid turret now and might get an inhib to trade.
Yeah, and these recalls are finally coming in. Going for the inhib would be a little bit of a no. They're stopping the recalls for a second. Oh yeah, they're trying to finally secure out the objective. What a fight! It feels like that. You know, Fool's 5, they're just so confident that they'll be able to just burst down anyone. And in the one moment they can't, the sustained damage Sen has. Oh no.
Oh no, he's standing on a ward, but the ultimate from Mbessa won't actually land. Meta shift with the big brain play, but with the Azir here as well, might be able to look for an ultimate, but no flash, will not be able to land that. So, as we were saying, they were down 7k, I felt like 10 seconds ago, but now that has already shrunk down to 4. Definitely still an uphill battle here for TMG. They are nowhere near in a controlling position in this game, but definitely this is the best fight so far.
Oh, what an insane peel to keep Senna alive. Being able to just get the ult off as well for the self-sustained shield and being able to land all the heals. Great stuff in that aspect. It could have gone wrong so fast, but thank goodness everyone was able to get that peel.
Hexify staying alive and getting that ult off was the difference maker in that fight. So definitely very, very clutch play for them. But now, Soul is on the menu, and Barcode might be caught out. The root is there, but the flash forward from Nautilus might be able to save his top laner, but here we go. Now there's a big sweep here as Chris is the first one to fall. That is actually huge here from the side of TMG, but their support will go down yet again. But now here comes the Redacted, barely staying alive, but that's the power of the Crocodile as Azir, the mid-jungle of FFM, is dead, and that is going to be a huge play again coming out here from TMG, as all of a sudden the gold lead has shrunk yet again.
I don't know what happened. Like, you just need to be careful. Front to back fighting, that's literally what, you know, Paladins team comp is made for. And thank goodness it was given to him on a silver platter. Let's look at the positioning here real quick. Like, Rel, of course, being up front. But I feel like they went a little bit too hard for the Renekton here, right? They were just like, the best way to deal with someone who's trying to flank is being able to just kind of burst them down here. So, yeah, look at this. Tries go in here, visionless, by the way, but an insane flash play by the Nautilus, and look at this, it knocks up so many of these players, and all of a sudden, creeping in here, thinking it's going to be all safe and sound, and Azir just in a terrible position, so much damage, and the Dragon Wall. I feel like that's the most important here, being the huge deciding factor, where look at these carriers are able to just sit behind in safety, and not have to worry about a thing. Azir gets way too hungry here, I'm not sure what this positioning was for, pays for it with his life and the dragons.
So I mentioned a rush death dance here for the Redacted. I think that came in clutch in that fight.
Yeah.
Keeping him alive. The burst wasn't as heavy. Obviously, this man knows the game a lot better than I do. It is showing here as that death dance coming up clutch here for Barcode. And looks like they are still going to have to be forced to drop this top turret. But look at that gold lead. It has shrunk immensely. And you know, if you would have asked me 2 minutes ago if this game was even remotely winnable for TMG, I would have said no. But look at this. They got the dragon. They have closed the gap. And I feel like their carries are starting to come online now.
Yeah, the hardest transition is going from, like, the early mid-game to more of this important aspect where you hit the 20-minute marker. You got to be careful about these early team fights that do happen. And look at this vision swept out there. Yeah, you're blind. No chance. They're just kind of keeping an eye on the Baron. So I respect that from, you know, full fight. But They have to be so careful with it. They're
They're
going to go
looking
ahead
for
and
this
get the
turret.
tower.
They will be able to get it. They do invest the TP to make sure that they can all get out safely. As this Renekton is one of the scariest people on this map right now.
Wait, look at Mbessa.
Mbessa is behind them, as you say, but looks like they're just trying to reestablish their vision, make sure that they are able to freely walk in case of a Baron play. Meanwhile, it is just that very common. It is post 25 minutes. The Baron dance has begun for both of these teams as they are just fighting for position on this objective here.
I'm curious to see how many stacks Senna has at this point. Like, their damage is not looking too strong right now. I'm taking a look right now. 63. You know, not the best position, but from how beaten up you got earlier. Yeah, let's not recall like that again. We saw what happened earlier when you get for a lazy recall, especially in these kind of games. Shoving up the waves, I respect it. The Baron, like you said earlier, is going to be the eyes on the prize. But keep in mind, 2 minutes left for the Dragon to kind of come in, and Soul Point as well for full 5.
Yep, Soul Point is still a consideration, but
What
here
happened?
we go! The Rel does get chunked out, is forced to flash away. They don't get the kill, but a Rel without flash, that engage is now significantly worse. Huge play here for TMG.
I got caught trying to put down the vision and paid with it. The lead no longer there. Oh, that pillar was so close. That could have changed a lot with the tempo, but Wolves 5, once again, they've had such a big lead and it just disappeared so fast. You can never be too, you can never be too aggressive. And so in here, yeah, just tries clearing the vision. You know the buddy system, right? If you're clearing out something, you need at least one more person, like, to kind of go ahead and try to get it down on there. Great survivability. Yeah,
tried to W the wall, but the wall a little bit too thick. Definitely a feels bad moment. We've all been there though. Like, absolutely,
yeah.
I've played a lot of Belveth, forgetting that I am not in my ultimate form, trying to hop the wall, and oh, dang. That is not what you want to see. But still managing to get out alive, so definitely Bento keeping himself in the fight here. But now, without, like I said, without that flash, the Rel is a bit more predictable with their engage, as they are still just dancing around this mid lane as Dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. This is likely going to be where the next big fight is, as both these teams are now struggling for position.
Sasuke, did you notice that Senna does not have her boots upgraded?
I did not. This is a very, very slow ADC, but with 3 items, is damage-wise equal terms with Solo Basin. If you consider how the early game went, that is actually incredible. So, definitely both of these carries are going to be very instrumental in the coming fight. But here we go. Dragon has been started up at meta shift, but now it's the Renekton getting caught out here. But is Renekton able to dash that wall? Does pop the ultimate to get that rage back, but is still chunked pretty.
Oh, here it comes.
Here we go. Fortress door goes in. Bento is the first one to get rooted up, but now Solo Mason is godlike as Nautilus is the first one to fall. But so many low health bars on both sides. It's a game of inches, but it is going in the favor of FFM. As the comeback is squandered here, the TP's coming in as well. Dragon be damned. Let's end the game.
I thought it was a disaster. Like, Azir having to burn ult that early, such a huge, crucial ultimate to lose out on early. But then I just felt like Paladins, they just got too overzealous with the counter engage and they pay for it with their life. You want to get to that front-to-back team fighting, and it just wasn't possible as the Nexus does go down. Jeez, a flip-flop game, but still, a W for Fools 5 Monarch.
They came close. I think TMG definitely made that game very, very interesting. Almost looked like they could maybe scramble a bit of a miracle comeback, but unfortunately will still fall in the last team fight, and it is Fools 5 Monarchs, led by, in my opinion, Solo Mason, having a very, very predominant game on this Xayah, fully carrying his team. But I also have to mention Chris, very, very strong in the early game as well. Very, very good here. Very, very well played here to the side of Full Fives. I think we're going to go to a quick replay here of that last fight here.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes, we are. So
I thought it was doomed, right?
I agree. I thought it looked really, really good for TMG as that fight started. But we definitely are going to have to see like what was the turning point in that fight, because again, looked like they were trying to go for the Renekton, was able to hop the wall, but then just diving back into the fight just looked really, really strong here. We are going to go into this replay here. So again, Renekton is chunked, but full health bars on the side of on blue side here. So it's the hook that starts it here for Nautilus. Gets the knockups, but just is deleted, and it looks like is it Ambessa who just like kind of clears the enemy carries here?
It's Syndra! That was in the wrong position. I see.
There's just so much AoE with Bento and Solo Mason and Ambessa and Azir. Like, there's so much AoE team fight here on blue side. Just when they execute the fights properly, it's just so difficult for TMG to make any sort of comeback play in that fight. But like they made it closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a clear victory here for Fools 5, and then the fact that TMG managed to battle back at such a big deficit is definitely commendable.
I feel like, yeah, it was kind of a nice little comeback that was cooking out on there, but it was just like borrowed time because like Fools 5, like the gold lead was able to shrink, but just where the gold is going to, I feel like was the biggest factor because like Xayah was able to be on 3 full items and as well as have the boots upgraded, ready to go. Did not die a single time as well. She's just a huge threat. And in that last team fight, I noticed that like the Nautilus ult was on the Azir, but that's all the CC was really on. It was just on the front line, and I really want to see that the QE coming from Syndra. But the problem was in that fight, like you saw how like Senna was like more into her own jungle, realizing like you need to go backwards. You know, it felt like the mid laner was just like, okay, I need to get a good angle for my abilities, but because of how close that river wall is, where the bushes are, you're just so vulnerable to being dashed from across, and that's where Vi was able to kind of get the angle with the free ult, and I was able to seal that one out. Still, an insane fight, an insane comeback that was in the works, but unfortunately for Paladins, Fools 5 Monarchs were able to kind of lock in and make sure that it did not happen, and finally get it out with a really clean team fight at the end.
It was possible. That is very, very important for TMG going into this next game. Again, losing definitely is rough, but they made that close. They are able to win fights even at massive disadvantages. So I think they need to try and take that attitude into the next game here as they are looking now, try and make a comeback in the series and force at least a game 3 here. But definitely very well. I know we talked a lot about TMG and their comeback, but also just early game was almost executed flawlessly for either side of Fools 5. What were you particularly looking for, like, from this team to try and close out this series here?
For Fools 5?
Yeah. Like, what do you need? What does Fools 5 need to do here in game 2 to make sure that they can close out the series in a 2-0, give themselves a 2-1 record here in the season?
A little cleaner on the timers. Like, the only reason why that comeback even started is that they tried to burst down Senna, you know, disrespectfully so. Like, you didn't have your like whole team ready to back you up, and then all the shields came in when Senna doesn't die instantly, but was able to pop her ult, and all of a sudden the shutdown gold came into play, and then they had to kind of scramble around, and then some positioning mistakes as well, like where because I thought it was over because the fact that Rel didn't have flash available. I was just like, that's such a huge like ability to have, because like if Vi is able to get in, you know, Rel has a way harder time to go ahead and try to block on that CC. So you just need to be careful of positioning, but because it felt like that a lot of the battles were decided by who had the more vision. Like a lot of people were walking in with no vision into bushes and just getting jumped.
Yeah. Definitely, again, positioning, respect is definitely key things in this game for both of these squads. Definitely going to see how that improves here in game 2. But for now, we are going to be going to a quick break, I believe, just before we head into draft here for game 2. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Titan Vanquisher action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are back with Titan Vanquisher action. I'm still Zazakel, still joined here by Wolfie. We are excited to get into game 2 here. So TMG made it way closer than we thought. Definitely will hopefully try to carry as much momentum as possible into game 2 here. What needs to be different, do you think, for TMG? Like, what do you think they're going to be looking for with this draft? Again, keeping in mind that it is fearless, so none of the champions that we saw last time will be coming here again. So what do you think TMG needs to do here to turn this series around?
I said it earlier and you mentioned it. I was just like, I'm worried about late game drafts. I feel like they just, in these kind of like divisions and leagues, like you really want to focus on being able to kind of control that early and mid game, because the games like this, they just snowball a lot harder because of like how sloppy people can be with their movement as well as warding, which is like the reason why TMG was able to get a comeback happening. Because all of a sudden, Fools 5 got a little lazy trying to jump one person, not realizing that Senna was right next to her support who could heal. So like you said earlier, Fearless Draft. Love that, by the way. There's so many champions at this point that Fearless Draft can be successfully implemented.
It is probably one of my favorite additions to the game, like recent additions to the game. I think it is such a genius. I was very skeptical of it at first. I was very anti-Fearless, but then when I actually saw it in action, I thought it was awesome. So bans are exactly the same as game 1, taking out the Amumu, Nico, and Nefiri, and on the other side, Wukong, Hui, and Gnar will be out. We will not see them here in game 2, and it's going to be the Viego picked up here for FFM, who will remain on blue side, and it's going to be responded to with an Udyr and a Varus for TMG.
Yeah. Guess that's.
What do you think? What do you think they're angling for with this stage of the draft?
I mean, is Pokevarus still the meta? Is that how you're supposed to do, or is it just like regular AD carry?
I don't play AD carry. I could not tell you. I think lethality is still a thing, but I'm not 100% sure. So definitely do not quote me on that. But I play a lot of jungle. If I see a Varus, all I know about him is he has no dashes. So I go and gank him no matter what kind of runes he has. So on the other side, they are just going to round up the top side here with the LeBlanc and a Cassante. Definitely not a champion I like to see. Having Cassante moments are indeed, having 3,000 armor and still able to one-shot the ADC.
There's a Garen.
There is indeed a Garen.
What?
Oh, did his buffs come through? No, the buffs come through tomorrow, because tomorrow's Wednesday and tomorrow's patch day. So this is going to be a pre-buffed Garen, but I believe his rework did come out 2 weeks ago. So it is going to be still. I don't know if the rework was an improvement or not, but definitely is going to be not the Phantom Dancer Garen that I think we're used to, at least as far as I'm concerned. Maybe that is still the meta, but the Garen rework did come through, and it is going to be Mundo as well. So I actually have no idea where any of these champions are going.
Wait, what the?
This is a draft and a half, if I am being honest. That is a very, very beefy front line. I do not know. I think they're trying to match up a tank into an assassin mid lane, or like someone who won't just get one shot by the LeBlanc. So maybe they're putting Garen mid lane because that would make the most sense. He has natural regen, but I'm not 100% sure. They're gonna so FFM, we barely talked about their draft, is going to round out their comp with a very, very high damage ADC with a very good peel support, and it is going to be Nami as the counter to pair up with that Varus in the bot lane. So I do not know exactly where everybody's going for TMG, but that's definitely interesting.
There's my job is analysis. I'm not a miracle worker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
This is curious. Hey, I have seen weirder drafts win before, so definitely don't count it out. But I have no idea what the plan is here. I feel like they lack engage, definitely. I think their only engage is really landing a Varus ultimate, I suppose. Like I assume that they're putting Garen into the mid lane. He has natural regen. He can silence the LeBlanc, so maybe he can like get like a good trade-off before she's able to snap back. So like I think that's the angle that they're going for, but again, I have never seen this happen, so it is going to be curious to see how this lane plays out. If it is Garen mid, it might even be someone else, but that's the only logical direction I see this going in.
I'm just trying to digest like what I'm seeing on my screen. Like I'm looking at like Fools 5, and they have like they've got Exodia. Like they're just like, hey, we're gonna center around this Kog'Maw and use LeBlanc as a pressure tool to basically say like, hey, if you mess up, LeBlanc's gonna nuke you, and if we don't mess up, and if you guys like are successfully able to kind of keep her away, we have a Kog'Maw that has 2 huge beefy frontliners, and as well as you have Viego to watch out for, who has good gank pressure, by the way, too. Like with the hard CC and as well, it's Garen mid.
It is Garen mid. It has been confirmed that it is Garen mid. But now here's the real question, because you have multiple assassins on. They're like, I don't know if Viego counts as an assassin, but like his whole playstyle is killing someone to manage to get that reset off. So if you're looking for that, is having three beefy, not full, like not all of them are full tanks, but like 3 beefy characters, is that maybe a big brain play? Because now it'll be much more difficult for Viego to get that reset off.
Yeah, and
I'm trying to work on the math here, but
yeah, I mean,
essentially that's just the direction I see it. So with Mundo top lane and Udyr in the jungle, I thought maybe those could also have been swapped around, because obviously both can do either right now. But with Mundo top lane, he has a very, very weak laning phase, like up until until he gets like his first item, I would say. Mundo definitely struggles.
Yeah,
I feel like Garen will not have wave clear, or not have lane prio into this LeBlanc, who will be able to potentially get some roams off. So like, what do you think? Again, you said you're not a miracle worker, but you know, if you have this draft in front of you, like what kind of angle are you looking for here?
There are so many things that could happen, but we're gonna head to a quick break. We need some time to kind of discuss this. We need the players kind of set this in, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere with this game number 2.
Welcome back to the best of 3 here between TMG and Fools 5. Game 2 action here. Fools 5 managing to come out on top here in Game 1. Definitely looking to keep that momentum going here into probably one of the weirdest comp drafts I have ever seen in my entire life. We have Mundo top, Garen mid, and Udyr in the jungle. Again, just seeing that, like, I guess ultimately the only weird pick is the Garen mid, but I just feel like when you see just those 3 champions picked in a row in draft, it definitely can be a little jarring, but I am very excited. I am a little bit, I want to believe that TMG can pull it off and force a game 2 here. He did go deep blade. It doesn't, like, it's Garen. He can regen naturally. That's fine. But dancing in mid lane might be a mistake here, as I spell bad. God. Now getting collapsed on by multiple, does pop the Q, and is forced to flash. So definitely, maybe throwing a Garen dance is not the best way to start this lane, but definitely this is going to be an interesting match for sure.
Keep in mind, he also took Ignite. This is full confidence that this early kill is going to happen. I don't know. I'm real interested to see how it goes. Look at the summer spells as well. I love Braum taking out the exhaust as well. Like, just make sure, like, Kog'Maw just needs to make it through this, because the poking advantage will definitely just be in the favor of, like, the double up. The double bot lane being able to kind of control so much of this, and Garen just kind of getting pushed out. We're expecting this, and what's good about it, too, for higher echelon is that this can open up even more windows to try to get more roams.
Yeah, we were talking about this, that the LeBlanc will likely have lane prio in at least the early part. Once Garen gets, his Tiamat gets a few levels into his E, he actually clears waves incredibly fast. Yes. So I think just early on, definitely higher echelon will want to try and look for these early roam plays to try and get his other lanes a bit further ahead, because I really do feel that once Garen gets a bit more of that regen, a bit more of that wave clear, he will actually be able to bounce waves pretty effectively. But meanwhile, he actually is getting the higher end of the trade here, and higher echelon already having to pop that passive, does manage to get a decent trade back, but popping the potion here, hey, that's not a bad trade here for Garen here, as he is going to be able to regen a lot of that back.
That's true. And I'm surprised that, like, LeBlanc was, like, kind of got hit in there. Like, it's because, like, if you're going to use your dash, you can't do it on top of Garen. Because, like, that's what Garen wants. That's, like, the whole logical explanation that I was given to by my good friend Anti, saying, like, yeah, if you W in, you can just get silenced, so you're not able to warp back. But as LeBlanc, you don't have to W on top of Garen, You have freedom of choice. You're you. And there is a scrapping happening in here.
All right,
and
here we go. First fight of the game. It's Meta Shift tries to get the stun onto higher echelon.
Wait, hold on, this is bad.
To make sure that root. But now it's Chris, who is silenced and now very, very close to dead, as the Ignite, I smell bad, will actually get the first blood.
What?
And the flash used by higher echelon did not have the W, I suppose, to get back across that wall. TMG making moves here early on in the game.
I don't know.
What's your analysis of that fight?
I know you're smiling at me. You're like, yeah, look at this Garen. It's working. Double buff, first blood.
I had faith. That Garen mid would be a good pick. And so it's a bit early to say for sure, but I'm liking that he's gotten first blood, and even with losing his flash at the level 1.
I mean, like, it was just a huge mistake for, Five Fools to go for that. Because, like, you're not going to win in a scrap fight against Udyr. That's what Udyr is literally built for. Just able to just get the bear stun and just do so much work by using all the different stances. And Viego has the burst, not the sustained damage that Udyr has. And in that fight, it didn't matter because, like, LeBlanc and both of them just tried to kind of get it burst down and such. It just doesn't work in this stage of the game because LeBlanc didn't go back for items in the first place. You're still with your starting set, so you don't have that strength. Double buffs on the Garen, gonna sit hella comfortable saying, like, I have red buff to help me with the regen, I have my passive to help with the regen, I don't care how much poke you give me, I'm gonna go ahead and just take it all. and just take it with stride. And for LeBlanc, that's bad news. You're going to have to really heavily rely on shoving to get all of your pressure for the plates, or looking for a bot lane roam.
Absolutely. Udyr having access to his equivalent of an ult at level 1. Like, as soon as he, especially once he hits level 4, which he was in that fight, he has every single one of those awakened stances active, and obviously Viego at level 4 does not have access to his ultimate. So definitely the full kit being utilized there by Metashift to win that early scrap here in the river. But, as we mentioned, it is going to be still, has lost that red buff, so is going to go back to just kind of getting that natural Garen regen, as higher echelon is just looking to fight for that prio here. But with that early play going in the favor of TMG, oh, never mind, we have a bit of a fight here, as I Smell Bad still doesn't have the flash, but does get the level up, so we'll make sure that higher echelon does have to dash away.
And all of a sudden, the pressure has shifted mid lane, where LeBlanc has to be so careful to never go in that close for a W again. Because you're just gonna get nuked by a silence, and Ignite is coming up. So this Garen has full advantage in this aspect, and Dragon will be taken out due to the early pressure being exerted out. This bot lane, it's working out, like with the Varus, because they're able to kind of keep shoving, and they're preventing Viego from going in for the gank pressure, and as well as LeBlanc is being forced to stay in this mid area. Because what I was really happy about to see, I was just like, hey, you know, they're gonna have a really big hard time with bot lane because they're so vulnerable on TMG's end, because they're gonna shove so hard, which leaves them vulnerable to getting ganked. But LeBlanc's been unable to move, so you don't need to worry about that mid roam if you have nothing to really kind of, you know, put that pressure on.
Absolutely. We kind of see Barcode struggling a little bit in this top lane here, already 15 CS down. But as I mentioned, Mundo's laning phase is one of the worst in the game. He has no CC. His heals are laughable at this level. Like, it is definitely a bit of a struggle for the Mundo. But once he gets 1 or 2 items, he becomes an absolute beast. So as long as he can survive this early laning phase as that Mundo, you can scale into a monster. And I think that's just kind of the angle here. Meanwhile, I Smell Bad is taking a bit of a bad trade, but again, is Garen. As long as he gets that wave in, it doesn't really matter. You will be able to get all of that health back eventually.
Yeah. And you talked about no CC. Mundo's only... What
okay, here we go.
happening?
Fortress Door is trying to get away from this. Is forced to use the flash. The Solo Mason was chasing, and that Braum passive was at 3 stacks, so almost getting the stun off. But meanwhile, I Smell Bad trying to avoid a gank here from Chris as the Viego mist comes through. Metashift will be giving up these grubs, but in exchange, we'll get the entirety of Viego's bot side.
Yeah, if you're the jungler, you're hell happy being able to kind of see it all in here. And here comes the flash!
And there is Garen, baby! That is just a flash spin ultimate. Such a good combo here. As it is I Smell Bad picking up his 2nd kill of the game, as Solo Mason just is wiped from the map in less than a second.
Defying logic, because I know the comms for Fools 5 is just like, all right, Garen went back. There's no way this character can roam. It's Garen. Like, they have nothing to do with it. And lo and behold, just as the recall was gonna end, jump scare alert does come into play, because yeah, they didn't have vision in there. Absolutely none. And Solo won here for a recall. And look at this jump scare. Bento
League of
puts the word
Legends,
in.
League of Legends is a horror game. Boo! We're here. And just a free, seemingly like a free kill for the Garen here. Now 2-0 on this Garen. That is just very, very not how I expected this game to go early on. But again, I had faith, and I was hoping that I am personally someone who loves off-meta picks. So seeing one succeed is always such a thrill for me. I'm very, very happy that TMG so far has been making it work, and I hope that they continue to do so. But meanwhile, we have a mini scrap here in top lane. His Instrument has popped the ultimate, as has Barcode, but doesn't look like anything will come of it for now.
Yeah, that part of me is just like, wow, a non-meta pick is actually working out. The analytical side is just pissed. Like, because I'm just like, this should be working. Yeah, but we have a fight down bot lane.
Meanwhile, we have a fight in bot lane. The first kill has already been secured here by Chris. And Chris using the Nami bubble so effectively, managing to get that double kill onto the bot lane here of TMG, as that is just, again, Viego to a T, using the enemy abilities against them. We will see in the replay how they're able to make that happen. So Viego hiding in the brush may have just been like a face check here. Yeah, stepping up a little bit too far. The flash from Chris. Fortress Door is just going to be the first one to fall. Solo Mason uses his flash as well. And that is just going to be... You can see the Nami bubble coming out here to make sure that Exify also dies. CC layered with Bento's stun was so perfect. That is a very, very well executed gank here on bot side.
Yeah, I can't blame them. They're just like, there's no way the jungler's lingering around for that long, and Chris just kind of canceled the recall just at the last second, was able to get a flash stun. Nice kill secured, being able to get on there. And Mundo got past like the big bump in the early game. Yeah, you're down like 20 CS, but now you're able to kind of get that damage down, being able to utilize that CC shield against that Cassante. Real important to have.
His second level in his ult is so huge. Like, as soon as Mundo gets a second point in that ultimate, his ultimate heal is actually quite impactful. So definitely getting close to that level. Obviously only still level 9, but once he gets to that, gets the heart steal, I think he's going to be in very tip-top shape. As, again, I just feel like both of these tanks aren't really going to be able to kill each other at this point.
Yeah, Cassante will just kind of be able to get that shoved down, and Mundo, you know, still really effective at counteracting it. We're starting to see Udyr kind of linger down to the bot lane. I'm starting to look at the vision. Braum does see it. The pings go down because Dragon is up right now.
Absolutely. Definitely both of these teams are going to be angling around this Dragon right now. But also, both of them are going to be looking for the feats of warfare. Both at 2 kills right now. The next kill is going to be very, very critical for both these teams if they want to secure the feats of strength. But so far, Metashift has started the Dragon, already down to 3k. Chris is looking for something. I smell bad. Is now maybe
There's
a little
no
bit trapped.
way.
Gets the silence. The ultimate comes through, but higher echelon will likely be able to live. But now it's the Nami wave coming through to make sure that he can get his mid laner out. The shield blocks the wave from hitting the rest of his team, but that's enough stalling to make sure that Metashift can pick up the Dragon.
Yeah, it's good enough, and they're able to secure it out. It was a really scary situation where LeBlanc just kind of casually walks up and doesn't expect anything to happen. Recall does get canceled.
Yeah, but Garen is essentially full health again. Like,
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Just, you know, Warmogs is like a 3100 gold item. This guy just has it as a freaking passive. Like, oh, that seems fair. Like, oh man.
The Demacian discount. What can I say?
Yeah. No kidding. But anyway, we'll be able to still get that recall in. Looks like LeBlanc is finally going to be doing her first roam. She is moving down into the bot side of the map. Might just be looking for some vision control. Doesn't really look like she'll accomplish much else. Garen already walking back to lane. 2 pink wards into the tri-brush. They're really making sure that no one's in that bush. They're looking to ambush them, as they have been caught a few times in this series so far.
Yeah. Double division. Got it on down. Lots of pressure, however. Bubble, great step forward.
I thought that bubble was going to land, but Solo Mason managing to dodge it. And higher echelon is just needing to run away from this Garen. It's just spin to win is really putting on a show here.
Real good. And I think the confidence that Kog'Maw had is because had cleanse available as well. Ready to go, being able to just stop it out. And still an amazing forward step. Doesn't have to waste that summer spell. Able to hold on to it as Garen. Collecting them feathers. I like it.
I might be looking for higher echelon here, who will still likely be able to dash away if he chooses to. Gets the double chain, but the stride breaker has already been completed. So as long as Garen gets close, that could be very, very terrifying. As again, look at that wave clear. Just one ability. Just, yeah, it's all gone. Oh boy,
and
this Garen mid.
You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, like I did. Yeah, but with the Tiamat, is just able to just instantly clear waves. So at this point, I am really struggling to see how LeBlanc will deal with this Garen. But looks like Mundo popping the ultimate here in the top lane. Instrument just trying to get away. does still have the ultimate to try and make his own escape, but does get the first knockback, is going to be used to flash as well. But meanwhile, down in bot lane, looks like there was a play that Solo Mason was able to claim the feats of strength. 3 kills to 2 in favor of FFM.
And no cleanse on the Varus and a highly mobile ADC. I wouldn't be surprised if an ult landed or just one of Braum's passive stacks landed and Kog'Maw was just like, full force, I have cleanse, I'll be able to deal with anything, and just collect it on there. The tower does go down as well, so that's huge.
Yeah, Viego was down there as well, so likely another gank of some kind. But within the span of about 30 seconds, they pick up the 3rd kill and get first tower, securing the feats of strength for the side of FFM for the 2nd game in a row. So, once again, just feel like bot lane for FFM just getting so far ahead. Will it turn into a similar sort of game where they're just able to carry for the rest of this game, as it is Kog'Maw who can just legitimately one-shot at late game, and meanwhile Hexify getting caught again. Solo Mason picking up that kill, as that is just, once again, Solo Mason just getting paid.
Yeah. Payment, the PayPal hit, and all of a sudden, an AD carry is dead once again. That's just kind of the downsides of playing Varus. You're an immobile AD carry who can pump out so much DPS, but you're so vulnerable to these things. Right. Let's see what happens.
We are going to be able to see what happened on that 3rd kill here, as Hexify all alone under the tower fortress door, trying to flash in to try and secure something, but we're not able to. You're not going to be able to finish that replay. It's higher echelon forcing the flash out, but it looks like from that play earlier on, it just seemed like ADC by themselves, the support not really able to get there in time. A little bit unfortunate, but here we go. Chris trying to go in onto the Garen, but does not, you're right, does not care. Throws on the E, very, very intimidating, and forcing Chris to just kind of walk away.
Yeah, because I looked at Viego and I was like, you're not him. Like, Garen's just walking Giga Chad, who's just going to do whatever he wants, just avoids all the burst damage, has 1 core item ready to go. And as well as the Berserker Greaves. Here comes a fight, though. What are you doing, Kog'Maw? Watch out!
Solo Mason getting caught out. Does not have the flash. And down he goes. That's the 3rd kill now picked up for the Garen. But that means the rest of the fight, will this go in favor of TMG, as they are still under their tower here for FFM. But now here we go. Garen is dragged into tower range, but he does not care. He is Garen. The Rift Herald is summoned up. Will be able to at least get this mid lane tower. They won't even need to use the Herald for it, but here comes
the CC!
The LeBlanc is not able to finish the job there, and meanwhile, looks like the Udyr is just channeling the might of the storm to take out the enemy team. That's 2 kills so far, going over to the side of TMG, as the rest of Fools 5 is just forced to limp away from the might of this Garen.
Oh my goodness, what a huge fight, and it leads to a free dragon as well. Kog'Maw looking lost like a puppy, getting locked up in that aspect as Dragon gonna go ahead and be pressured. There is still a chance TP is ready to go on Cassante's end, but not all of them are healed up quite yet. But LeBlanc can go in for a double dash, get all that damage down. Yep.
Garen is looking for a flank here. They are still really low on the side of Fools 5. Higher Echelon's looking for something, but Chris is almost completely popped by the Mundo, and now here comes the Garen spin to win. He doesn't have the ult, I don't think, so it looks like Fortress Door will be able to pick up the kill onto Bento, but that's just another kill the Dragon picked up. And ultimately, I think that overall, a Dragon and 3 kills just given over to the side of TMG.
Yeah, it just felt like, you know, Fools 5 was just going way too hard, just saying like, hey, maybe we can just try to flip this Dragon with our LeBlanc and being able to do it, but you're just way too low on the HP end. And it just didn't work out. Let's take a look at this one more time. Like, yeah, this is the dive earlier. Remember we got cut out?
This is the dive that we were talking about earlier. So Hexify, yeah, just play safe, ADC. What are you doing? Come on.
Phantom Dancer on Garen, by the way.
Okay, so I was wrong. I know this is still reworked Garen, but I guess Phantom Dancer is still one of his main items. But the whole point of that rework was to avoid crit Garen. But here we go. The flash coming through for Chris. Oh, Garen ultimate is just not enough to take out the LeBlanc. Tried to trade it back, but unfortunately unable to do so. Garen was 4-0, but finally goes down.
Yeah, that was a huge... So yeah, so Kog'Maw here just gets eviscerated. It was just looking completely lost.
again, just walking into a enemy pink ward, like you guys were winning like 16-0. Like
I
that
think
is
the worst
not
part
really
about
something
it-
that you can do. Like
worst
definitely
part was
a bit of an error here on the side of Solo Mason, but oh my goodness, higher echelon just unable to kill Hexify. At this, again, we were talking about this front line is just so freaking tanky.
Yeah. Mundo go where he pleases, right? Literally just kind of walking up to their backline saying, yeah, I can do whatever the hell I want. But I think the worst part about it that I was mentioning is like this play. It's like so desperate. It's like, oh, well, we don't want them to get the dragon, but you're so low. Garen's literally walking up for free. Just saying like, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and walk and pressure. And Mundo go ahead for like a pseudo pinch. They secure
Mundo
dragon
one
and
shots
just,
Chris.
yeah. And
Oh,
here
man.
comes the Nami
And, like,
W.
And like they may have lost feats of strength because they lost first tower and the first 3 kills, but majority of the objectives have gone over to TMG. They got 3 dragons, they got the Rift Herald, they didn't get grubs, so that's the only one that really went over. To Wolves 5. But here we go. I smell bad. Thrown under the tower here by Instrument as Atacon has been started, and I don't think that FFM knows about this.
Yeah. Or if they do, they're sure they can't do anything about it. Being able to go on there, and you talk about top lane, being able to get that pressure. Here it comes, though. They see it.
They definitely know now. Here we go. Bento is looking for maybe an engage angle here, but the smite secure from Metashift will be able to make sure that Otacon goes over to the side of TMG, and now the fight has continued. The TP comes in, and now it's just a 4v5 because LeBlanc doesn't have her TP, so she's just going to keep pushing, and FFM are just forced to walk away. They lose the objective and don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, they lose it. They do get a TP, but the tower was already gone, so, you know, Mundo's just going to go ahead and just say, like, hey, I'm going to make sure that a counter engage can't happen. And dragons, look at them stack up quickly, all 3 in the favor of the Paladins. A huge turnaround from differential from game number 1 with the draft I did not believe in, but they are making it work off of the mistakes that FFM have made. We'll see if that transition with that lead will be able to be a smooth one over, because the kill count is still even, but don't be fooled. It's still a very tight and close game. The dragon count might be nice in positioning, but I'm still keeping an eye on the Kog'Maw.
And with just a minute till that next dragon, that is going to be a very crucial fight for both of these teams. I really feel like that is just going to just split this game wide open, either one way or another. Meanwhile, on top lane, the silence lasts so long as higher echelon is just will be able to make their escape, but does pop the passive. Meanwhile, here in mid lane, Bento trying to get out of that frost storm conjured here by Metashift, and now it's Chris maybe getting caught out.
Run, Chris!
They go. Now here's the downside of their comp. They have a lot of speed.
They're getting pinched. They're getting pinched.
They are. Here comes I Smell Bad. Bento now does not have flash. The flash coming in. As, the ultimate from the Garen will not be able to kill Solo Mesa, but Bento is going to be the one going down. But now here comes Cassante trying to trade back. Metashift is now dangerously low, but Udyr will likely be able to just heal this. But with the enemy support gone, this might just be the soul now going over to TMG.
Yep, Mundo go where he please. Look at this, just saying, I dare you to go ahead and teleport back. I dare you to try to make a move and try to get this dragon. A lot of them are on this Viego, desperately trying to get away.
Viego, you can't escape the might of Mundo, as it's now I Smell Bad picking up the kill onto Chris. This is just such a wacky comp to play against because they have a lack of engage, but so much movement speed from Mundo, from Garen, from Udyr. They will just run at you, but they are going to catch you eventually.
Here comes Soul.
Yeah, Soul now secured here for TMG, and I don't think anything else will really come out of this play as, again, all the objectives have gone over to the side of TMG. They got Otacon. They've now got Soul. They got Rift Herald. Like, their objective game has been completely on point here, and I think it's going to be a huge difference maker here going forward.
Yeah, look at that gold. Garen! 10K! Oh my goodness, at 24 minutes. But close behind is Kog'Maw and the jungler as well. The Viego still keeping up with it. Lots of gold in the pockets, and Varus has got some coming back to do.
trying to land those ults down, trying to make sure you're able to get those pokes whenever you can. The Kog'Maw is so far the biggest threat we've seen. That's only the problem that I can see with Garen. Like, you're able to do so much with it, but what does it matter if Kog'Maw just shreds you when they get to that late game?
That is the downside. 3 tanky members on the enemy team, but you have Kog'Maw, who is known notoriously to be able to shred through anyone, no matter how tanky they are. So definitely need to keep an eye on Solo Mason, look at his positioning, because ultimately in these team fights, he is going to be the difference maker if FFM are looking to try to get a foothold in this game, because even though the gold is even, with 4
Wait, what are you
dragons,
doing? You're dead!
Okay, here we
dead.
go. Dash is back
You're
in,
dead.
but the Stride Breaker is there. Will he be able to follow the correct one? Looks like he will. The Ignite, a little bit slick there from I Smell Bad, as that is going to be just a free kill. Garen is just such a nuisance in this game.
Garen just, I Smell Bad just smiled. Was just like, oh my god, you used both your dashes in front of me? I'm gonna take that for free. And it looks like the Baron is also gonna go down. Things go from bad to worse for the Fools 5 as another objective goes down. Baron power play. We have the counter starting off right now. But damn, a huge push is gonna come. And we'll see what the Fools 5 can do to try to mitigate the storm and the damage.
Again, this feels like another game where just as soon as the snowball starts, it is impossible to stop. Like, I really feel like once TMG got a few of these objectives under their belt, got a couple kills onto the Garen, like FFM has just not been able to do anything since then, and it's just it feels so bad.
Hold on.
Smell Bad walking in, but he's Garen. He does not care. He can face check, no problem at all. As Bento is the first one to go down, and now here comes the Udyr to try and make a difference, and it's just Solo Mason getting one shot here by the Garen. His instrument now is struggling to try and find a way out, but he is now pinched. He is hiding under his tower for a bit of safety, but does that even matter? As now with Mundo forcing down mid lane, this is just full control over to TMG.
Insane mechanics. Garen walked in, got jumped, popped W, and simply walked out saying, I don't really care about the damage.
And he's full health, by the way.
Yeah, and he's full health. It's just the struggle bus. And once again, another stop is being made. An inhib tower, 2 of them are struck down. A reset probably going to come into play here. Plenty of time to work on it, because look at this. Look at this high APM
Name
champion.
one other character that can face check a bush like this and be totally fine. Like not a problem at yeah, maybe Mundo, but
yeah, but look at this. Look, and 3 of them. There's 3. He just was spun and walked out. There's exhaust on him too. And then poor Kog'Maw is getting jumped. Great usage by the blast plant by the jungler. Up play by Metaship.
I didn't even notice that in the original fight. Meta shipped with such a clutch blast code to make sure that Kog'Maw can't escape. Oh my goodness, TMG just executing their comp so effectively here. Looks like Chris might be caught out, as Mundo, as we mentioned, has a couple items. I don't feel like he will die for the rest of this game.
Nope. I don't expect to either, and there's still 40 seconds left of this Baron. They're going to go ahead and knock on the door of this tower. Cannon Minion is still alive, but with this positioning, I'm really scared of a fight breaking out, because I don't know what y'all are doing. You think Red Team cares about this? Here comes Kog'Maw getting slapped up, and here comes Garen. That's the problem. If you can't get in with your team, you're just going to get nuked by the Kog'Maw. Look at this damage. Look at the damage.
Okay, here we go. It looks like Mundo does not care about your towers. Here he goes, just chasing them under. And Tassante's trying to make a difference, but no difference he will make. As now it's Udyr taking out Solo Mason. It's a triple kill picked up here for Xify, and they are just forcing the enemy to run with their tail.
I don't know. I really don't know.
The Baron is gone,
but
will that be enough to try and protect their Nexus? Cassante has to flash out, will not survive. Yep, Hexify will be the one to take him out. As, oh my goodness, what an entertaining game. Hexify will go down as a bit of a gate here for FFM, but I don't think it'll be enough. Nexus going down, TMG with Garen mid. will force game 3.
Garen mid, Udyr jungle, Mundo top. This is like your blind pick nightmare. And unfortunately, it happened in a series. Paladins secured their first game victory with this comp. What good is Exodia if you simply eat their cards at the start of the match? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. But I am so glad that this worked. As someone with a huge place in my heart for off-meta comps, I love the fact that Garen mid showed up and was probably not just worked, but was one of the most dominating forces on this game. He applied pressure in side lanes. He did the most damage in the game, as we can see here. He was so instrumental in TMG winning this game. I am so glad for it.
Yeah, they got it down and just kind of let it happen at the start. LeBlanc just faced the wrath of Garen. Dashing in is just a big mistake, and unfortunately just couldn't stop it down there. That little jungle scrap at the beginning, I think that was just all the momentum that that the Paladins needed. Like, they were just thinking that maybe we can just kind of gang up on Udyr. Biggest mistake of their lives. It led to this snowball effect. And just able to kind of just keep it on there. And top lane, as we expected, was just a stalemate. If Dr. Mundo doesn't die early, he's not dying anymore.
But that's exactly what Mundo wants, though. That's the whole point, right? Is that if Mundo is able to survive till like level 11 or till Heartsteel, he's going to be fine. Like, it's that if you're able to punish him beforehand, then Mundo is completely useless. But obviously, there was not a lot of action in that top lane. Mundo, yeah, he fell behind, but like, that's totally normal and totally fine. Was able to scale, was able to get his items, and then went a full deathless game, 1-0-8, as Barcode just looking again. Looked like he looked immortal.
Yeah. An exciting game number 2 to force it to a game number 3 to decide who's going to win it out. We're going to take a nice quick break. Let the teams relax. Let us calm down. And as we move on to see game number 3 is coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everybody. We got Game 3 action. Always so much fun to see. TMG with, again, a very, very weird comp, making it work in Game 2. So much fun to see. I am so happy that it worked out. Wolfie, maybe not as happy about it, but
I'm furious!
Definitely still fun to see. But TMG going on blue side for the first time in this series is still going to be banning out the Gnar. I feel like the bans are going to stay similar throughout. We aren't going to be seeing Garen this game, so what are you hoping to see from either one of these teams? Like any fun, any new spicy picks do you think we're gonna see throughout here?
Gragasmid. Who cares at this point? We're gonna see some Mickey Mouse on here at this point.
Gragasmid isn't even that bad though.
You Gragasmid against LeBlanc mid too. That actually would have been a counter pick as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think bans are staying so far almost exactly the same. Okay, there's a slight change. Gwen is going to be taken off the table here. Wukong and Gnar still very similar for TMG, and on the other side, still the Amumu, still the Nico, and still the Nefiri. So Hui is now on the table. Well, you can see if higher echelon is looking for that pick here, as it is going to be the first time that it is not banned. However, first pick here on the side of TMG,
yes,
they are going to be the ones taking the Hui away from higher echelon. So this is kind of an ego thing, right? Where you're taking someone else's champion that you've been banning against them all series long and trying to use it yourself. How does that normally, do you think, work out in this scenario?
I mean, Anti is happy. There's wave clear on the screen. That's like been the number one sin, the cardinal sin that's being broken at the moment. And both Rise and Hui have good tools with it. Misfortune actually being picked out here. I'm seeing a lot of misfortune within this bracket series at the Titan Esports they've been developing because, I mean, it's just the pressure, right? Like, bullet time, crazy ult, especially when you're unable to be stopped on there. You know, unless, you know, the enemy Soraka presses her silence and gives you a middle finger and just walks away.
Something like that.
So, yeah, a lot of
normally you see like a Leona or something like, you know, with that ultimate, just a free stun, able to stop that high damage ability. But instead, they're gonna go with the Karma. So maybe looking for like an Ezreal here, but with the Pantheon picked up instead. And it's a little bit not kind of the angle I'm looking for. They haven't locked in their ADC yet, unless, of course, that is Hui ADC, which is possible, I suppose. We've seen some wacky stuff in this series, but it is going to be Jarvan. Such a good pick here, as all three of those champions cannot escape that ultimate.
Yeah, and I think the Leona ban's really smart. You're mentioning like champions that could stop it earlier, because what I was thinking was also Nautilus, but because of this development of the bracket and how this works, Nautilus is unable to be secured out. One of those champions that you'll not be able to put your hands on there. You can see it in the bottom right screen, the 4 supports that were already secured. And Galio is also struck down.
Oh,
you don't want that Galio.
Galio would have been such a good pick with that Jarvan. So definitely a very, very good ban here for TMG. And probably one of my favorite top laners, probably behind Urgot, but Ornn is still a very, very big, very, very fun champion, in my opinion. I think he's the most fun tank in the game. Ton of power in that passive. The ability to build items no matter where you are is so OP, in my opinion, and his Aatrox picked up as the counter into that Ornn.
Ornn, just, what was it
It
again?
is Hui ADC. Okay, that is curious. So
just
Hui Karma bot lane.
So Pantheon mid, right? Aatrox top.
I believe that'll be Pantheon mid, or I guess it could be Karma mid as well. But now it's also Camille support on the other side. Oh my goodness, we're getting so many wild picks here in this series. Or I guess it could be Ornn support. I don't know. We will have to see. But I think that is what we're going for here. So obviously a lot of high damage carries in the Rise and the Misfortune, and on the other side a lot more similar to what they had last time. 3 very, very beefy frontline fighters for the side of TMG. It worked so well last game. Let's try it again.
Yeah, both team comps have a lot of good pick potential. Like Jarvan being able to go for a flag and drag and Cataclysm and being able to tie that up with Ornn. I feel like that's the wombo combo they're going for. being able to just get a free Ornal that'll just put so much disruption there. It's an Ornn support.
It is Ornn support. Okay, so that is curious because the one thing I don't like about that, yes, Ornn can do a lot of CC, which is his thing. That's what Ornn does. He's all about CC, but he really does need levels in order to get the ornaments, in order to get the free stats. You have to hit at least level 14. So that's a lot harder to do as a support. So that's the one thing I don't like about it. I feel like FFM is not going to get quite as much value out of that Ornn passive. However, it's not like he's going to be useless. He is still Ornn, still has long range engage, still has a lot of tools available for his team. I just don't like that they're not going to get those free stats as early, if at all.
Yeah, I feel like that I think mainly the Ornn pick is to not only help them secure in the later game with the Ornn items, but as well as the free combo potential with Jarvan, because the access to Galio was cut off. So at least you're able to Ornn ult on top where, started to cast from there, get a free little knock up in combination with Cataclysm, and the bullet time as well will just shred if they're unable to stop. Because if you keep in mind on TMG's end, they don't have a super secure way to stop the ult unless Pantheon is somehow able to get in for like a stun, but there's still limited range within Sejuani can be just body blocked. It is only a single target. It's been years since that's been a multi-CC targeting ability.
Absolutely, and there is so much frontline on both of these teams too, and unfortunately for the side of TMG, they don't really have a dedicated tank killer. I think Aatrox is probably the closest. Hwei has a lot of burst, but he doesn't have, he doesn't normally build Leandries, I don't think, so doesn't have a very effective way to carve through a front line. Aatrox is probably the closest, because I believe he has max health damage on his passive, but at the end of the day, I'm a little worried about TMG's ability to get through this Ornn, who gets bonus stats just because. Jarvan, who normally builds relatively tanky. Camille, who is not going to be a tank, but not going to be squishy. We are going to be hopping directly into game here. Final match of this best of 3 action coming right up. TMG, hot off of a very, very fun win in game 2. Let's see what they can do with, again, another not as weird as last time, but still relatively weird. You don't see a lot of Hwei ADC. Does have the TP. Let's see what they're able to do this time around with an Ornn support on the other side. This is a very, very fun draft.
Yeah, it does at least create it to be difficult to go for itemization, and we are ready, starting off with just forcing them off. Yeah, I get it. Get those vision
bit of free poke. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but they saw it coming, as Bento will also take a bit of abuse here from Hexify, but
yeah, that was a good amount too. Jeez.
Yeah. Again, before Ornn is able to get those items, he is not really going to be that tanky, especially as a support. So definitely, we're going to have to see if Hexify and Fortress Door will be able to kind of outpoke their opponents here. But I think Solo Mason and Bento have really been the strong side of FFM in this series so far.
The really messed up thing that could happen mid, if somehow Pantheon gets like a huge shove in and Jarvan starts clearing out Raptors, Pantheon could charge up a Q, fading it to hit Rise, and then just chuck it over to Raptors to try to steal away some CS. That could be a diabolical little mini interaction that could happen. But we'll have to see how this Hwei will do. It had to be an like Hwei in the bot lane because of the lack of the mixed damage, right? You need some kind of magic damage threat. That's not Karma, because let's be real, Karma's not going to be doing it in the support role.
Yeah, but when they picked the Karma, I was kind of expecting them to go for like an Ezreal angle and throw Hwei into the mid lane, right? I mean, Ezreal Karma is one of the safest lanes in League of Legends. Like, no matter what you have in that bot lane, you are very unlikely to kill an Ezreal Karma. So that's what I thought the angle they were going for. Pick a strong side top and just try and play for just staying safe into this bot lane of FFM. Like I said, has been playing very, very well. So that's kind of the angle I thought they would be going for. But definitely is still going to be very curious. I love, like I said, off meta, and I am really hoping that it'll work out. But there's off meta on both of these teams, so one of them will work. It's just depending on who it'll be.
Yeah, and I mean, imagine like if if TMG had their hands on Camille top with Sejuani. That would have been such a deadly combination to have. And look at this trade. Nicely done, but here's the problem. Yeah, once that shield comes down, you're going to eat the wrath of Ryze. Not the best early damage, but with TP, no spellbook, wants to be able to kind of keep that mobility in. I understand that fully. And
yeah,
I don't know.
Going for the ignite again too, so definitely wants to be aggressive on this Pantheon. Of course, he does have the global ultimate, but so does Ryze. Like, oh boy, was that enough? I don't.
No,
I think the potion will keep him alive. Last tick, not quite enough, but I smell bad. Throwing down the gun here, but now has no mana. If he stays, might actually be in a lot of trouble. But Chris, in the area, I think I smell bad. Kind of senses that something is wrong.
Bot lane has no vision.
Will be able to back up. But now here we go. Bot lane pushed way too far up. Bento managing to get the knockup onto Hexify. They are running directly into their own doom as Chris will be able to pick up first blood onto Hexify. Fortress Door, flashing the wall, will be able to make their own escape. But overall, first blood going over to Chris. But now, higher echelon does get flashed on by both of the enemy team. The E coming through from Metashift.
Nice.
Tries to get the kill over to I Smell Bad and will do so. 1-1 now. Oh, I have to keep talking because there's more stuff going on top side. But all right, I'm going to take a quick break and let you talk for a little bit.
Nasty trades that happened 1 for 1. One in the bot lane and one in the mid. In all honesty, I think the bot lane, if there was no gank, I think the dive would have happened regardless. They were just way too pushed up, and all the abilities less on Ornn's end. They just needed that moral support jungler to say, like, hey, make that push, make that move. But I don't know, just a hell of a move to just go up there with no vision. You're just going to be hella blind. Just take a look at the replay right here. Yeah, that ward is not good enough.
They had a ward in the wrong part of the river. To be honest, I feel like Hexify was dead no matter what there. I don't even think Chris was necessary. But definitely is still going to be a good play here by the enemy jungler. But higher echelon, again, no vision. This was just walking up, meta shift with a perfect flash Q. And then point and click stun coming from the Pantheon. Just a free kind of poke there in the face to take out the Ryze and even up the score.
That was a good bait by I Spell Bad too. Just kind of lingered around saying like, hey, I'm doing a really risky move. But here's the thing. It's just like basic fundamentals. If you see the enemy jungler on one side, expect the jungler to be on the opposite side. So like if I see like my jungler on the bottom side of the map, the jungler is probably on the top or mid side, and that's exactly what happened. With no vision available, we'll be able to get poked down and Misfortune. Happy about that one. We're able to continue with this, but wow, that actually was not a lot of damage, no?
I don't think he was able to land one of his abilities. I think maybe the Q missed, but I'm not 100% sure. But I Smell Bad on the losing end of that trade for sure, and with the wave and not the best spot, likely he was just gonna have to wait for it to push back to him. But meanwhile, again in this top lane, nothing has happened. This has been kind of the most chill top lane I think I have seen in a competitive game in a while. So just both these top laners happy to just kind of trade farm and just chill. Let's not stress too much. Let's just have a good time.
Yeah, it's a free dragon too. They know it.
Yeah, they could maybe look for a dive, but Instrument is full health, so it would have to be a very, very well executed dive in order to make anything happen from it, because there is no guaranteed lockdown on this side. They don't have the ultimate yet on Metashift, and Barcode, no matter how good you are, you will eventually miss Aatrox Qs, so definitely not guaranteed CC, so opt to just cut their losses and just take the crap.
Yeah. Because, like, even if you do, like, land a good one, any small gap, that ult's going to come into play. And here it comes.
Here we go.
Metashift.
Metashift does land the ultimate, but here comes the Pantheon. Will he be able to get there in time? Gets the stun off. Will they be able to pick it up? And it's I Smell Bad with his second kill of the game. We're just going to ignore that one, but does not manage to pick up the wave with the Q, but really, really well played, well executed. Both their ultimates used to perfection, and I Smell Bad now 2-0 on this Pantheon.
Forgot about it. Was just like, hey, there's no way Sejuani can just kind of go in and get all that damage down. Forgot completely about the Pantheon ult comes into play at the worst time for this Ryze. Thankfully, did have TP. So it ain't the worst thing. But they're positioning for a gank, and it did not work out. They're missing out on that dash opportunity, and Chris gonna have to do the walk of shame away from the
I think that's the closest we've come to a top gank in this entire game. He kind of walked into River a little bit, and that was about as close as we got. Wave is, I think, now finally pushing back to barcode, so he will be able to at least grab some of these minions afterward. But again, Instrument just kind of getting a bit of a lead here in the farm. Aatrox is notoriously very weak until level 5, and then he becomes an absolute lane bully. So now that he is level 7, I'm kind of expecting Aatrox to start fighting back in this matchup a little bit more, hopefully even up that farm as much as he can. But I smell bad. Moving back into the mid lane here, doesn't really have prio, but Sejuani is on Grubs with no prio in her solo lanes. This could be a little bit risky, but it doesn't look like they're going to be going for it.
They're not even risking or attempting to make a move. And thankfully for Rise, at least you have wave clear on your end. Being able to kind of sweep up these waves, keep the minions pushing on back against the Pantheon, avoiding out that kill pressure, does secure the wand. As well as 2 ruby crystals on that side. Here comes the Aatrox, though.
Again, Aatrox is now at a level where he can be the lane bully that everyone knows him to be. So hopefully going to be closing that gap a little bit. But Camille is a very notorious Aatrox counter. But does that matter? Because we're looking at bot lane right now. The flash coming through from Fortress Door. But Chris will say, no, sir, you will not escape, at least not yet, as Fortress Door is just insanely fast, but it is running the wrong way, away from safety. Is going to be wasting a lot of time here as Chris is likely going to be the one chasing. Will the shield be enough? Is just going to... yeah, did not think that would be an execute. Does get the ult, and a lot of time wasted, so... Not the worst I have ever seen from a gank, but definitely still not ideal. Fortress Door using both sums to die anyway.
Yeah. Gets struck down. Thankfully, didn't give the kill over to Rise. I don't think I Smell Bad would have been really appreciative of that. And as well as the fact that Misfortune did not get an assist as well. So the gold does not spread around. Hui is just asking for it.
Does get the flash, but Ornn is here as well. Flashes forward to try and get that kill onto Hexify, but will be able to make it all the way out. Meta Shift is here, lands the ult, tried to go onto Bento, but it looks like it landed on Chris instead. The Pantheon is looking for something, does get the ult off, but now the flash from Solo Mason will get them back to their tower, but not to safety, as it's blue team picking up the feats of warfare. Bento now trying to finish the kill onto Hexify, but he dashes into his own demise, as I Smell Bad is here to assist the rest of his team as Hexify picks up the kill onto Bento, and that is a huge play coming out from TMG.
It looked terrible, but somehow they're able to pull it through. Oh no, don't get it. Yeah, you just had to commit for the recall and hope for the best. But Disaster just turned into something great and amazing. I think the huge part about it, in all honesty, with you, Zazie, it's the Pantheon being able to ult and roam on a dime.
That, but again, isn't Rise like known to be the roaming champion? Here we go. We can watch the replay here as Hexify dodges the Chris flag and drag. Chris doesn't have his ultimate, so unable to lock down the Hexify for any longer. And now Bento is caught out in a really awkward position. Chris uses the flash. Solo Mason, again, has no dashes of his own, so has to just flash away when Pantheon ults in. But doesn't matter because Hexify can kill you from 3 screens away. So Bento, again, might have been able to use this E to escape, but just tries to trade onto the Hui, but it just doesn't matter. And that is, again, Hexify playing with fire, but managing to put his team really far ahead. As Solo Mason is caught out again. Does just barely manage to stay alive. Chris has his ultimate this time. Fortress Door, very, very low, but has the shields to keep himself alive. Meta Shield is very, very tanky and able to just stand the punishment, and I Smell Bad just decimates Jarvan, and that is going to be another kill picked up for TMG as yet again FFM is unable to cut through this enemy team.
And the F and FFM, one of them does stand for fools, and that's what they look like at this point. Did you see that Cataclysm ult come into play? It did not put Ornn in the position to activate that passive, so that damage was just not enough. Thank goodness that Kindle Gem was in the pocket of this Karma and was able to stay alive with it. And a huge disaster that was able to be caused by this situation. Because look at this. It looked so bad, like the positioning was so off. Great stuff by the Misfortune. Just trying to bait this one out. They
Solo Mason a little bit too far forward, like you said, just not respecting what Sejuani is able to do. Is still very, very low, but then this is the play.
Look at Orin.
Chris is just autoing Fortress Door, but not able to get through the Karma shields, and then now he has no way out. He doesn't have flag and drag, he doesn't have anything, and then just gets CC'd and just blown up, and that is just the TP a little unnecessary from Barcode, but all in all, TMG looking so much more confident than they were at the beginning of the series.
Yeah, so the crucial thing to have as well, like how different that would have been if bullet time was available for Misfortune to use, right? Like just being able to just safely around there, and because you ate so much damage at the start, was unable to confidently step up to try to finish it off by using her autos or anything, make it rain at least. When all those mistakes come into play, Sejuani lingering in that minion block just at the last moment. Thank goodness for Ryzen get hit up with it. As once again, clearing the waves is going to be your job.
Absolutely, and like we could also talk about how the gold is dead even, because this farm lead in both the mid lane and the top lane is quite large considering what point in the game that we're at. So is still relatively even in terms of gold, even though with 3 extra kills on the side of TMG. But as you can see, that top lane ahead by almost over 700 gold. Definitely going to be a bit rough here for Barcode on that Aatrox, especially investing that TP into that mid lane fight.
It's gonna be rough. Like you're able to be a bully, but let me tell you, there's a counter strike that's able to have on here. And hold up,
Pantheon has no dashes, might not be able to make it out. Does block the damage, but doesn't block the CC. As now he tries to dash back in onto higher echelon, but I Smell Bad is likely going to fall here. They're just looking for who to dedicate the kill to, and now with the Karma Shield, they decide, we don't care, just get the kill, and higher echelon will be the one grabbing that kill. But here we go in the top lane. Instrument tries to turn it around, but Meta Shift is there to back up his top laner. And finally, we see the first gank on top lane go successfully here, as finally we have some sort of action between these two top laners. Barcode getting the assist onto this kill, hopefully going to be able to even up the gold a little bit.
Yeah, that Karma coming in clutch with the shield, forcing out a little bit more on the resources end. But yeah, this 1v1 started out, just a great bait. Let's just say, like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and just back away.
So normally, Aatrox should never be able to land Q3 because of the Camille ultimate. You're able to dodge it, but if you're CC'd by a Sejuani, that Q3 all of a sudden can become very, very deadly. So very, very good bait there. Meta shift, good positioning, managing to get that kill onto Instrument. And here we go, back for some more action here in mid lane. Is going to be the double stun yet again. The Ignite is there. The spear through the heart of higher echelon. And that is another kill going over to I Smell Bad, who back-to-back melee AD mids has been running the map.
A huge diff happening, and here comes the tower dive. You gotta have to run away, yes. Great stuff.
Solo Mason just, just getting the heck out of there, using the flash, making sure that you can get out alive. But again, I feel like I Smell Bad is just kind of skating circles around the enemy team, despite being on, melee mids who normally should not have any prio. But I think he's sacrificing CS in order to make sure that he is getting plays done on the map, using his champion abilities effectively, making sure that Grand Starfall is used to his full potential. I think he has been probably the most instrumental player in these wins so far, in the win so far, and the early game here for TMG.
Yep. Off cooldown, essentially, just spamming that ult, and here comes the Paladin drifting on here. Rise realizes you're in trouble.
It's knocked up by the Rift Herald, and the ultimate from Meta Shift is enough to lock him down. That's another kill, and first tower going over to TMG. Dragon is on the menu in 15 seconds as well.
Oh my goodness. Things go from bad to worse, and
Solo
speaking
Mason
of worse,
doesn't have the flash, doesn't have a way out. does use the smite from Meta Shift, but looks like it'll be back up in time for this dragon, and they are just trying to make something happen. So here we go, on top lane. How is Barco going to be able to navigate this? A good flash to dodge the Ornn ultimate, and now with the TP, Ornn is caught without any safety, and Hexify will be able to chase him down and make sure that there is no escape, and Bento will fall. The cross map fails, and TMG take control of this game.
Bad to worse. I don't know what to say. It's looking real rough, and Hui, once again, being able to kind of clear out these waves. Another dive could come into play, and it misses out. The dash missed, however, but there's just so much burst damage.
Absolutely.
That just does not matter.
No real way out, but another TP invested, so will Barcode really be able to do anything? Chris using the flash to make sure that the Aatrox can't get the kill, and now they've turned it around, as here we go. Barcode doesn't have ultimate, but Jarvan does, and Chris takes out the enemy top laner.
Can't get too overzealous. Like, I know you're Aatrox and all, but 2v1 against a fed Jarvan and a Triforce Camille, you're just asking to die.
Yeah, and a little sad that he had to, used the TP as well, so definitely going to be a bit hurtful here for Barcode, who's already been struggling in this matchup, but has the Eclipse, so is likely going to be still relatively useless. Relatively useful. He is still Aatrox, has a lot of CC in his kit if he's able to land those sweet spots. So I don't think Pantheon is in that bush anymore. I saw the spectator disappear, so yeah, it looks like he's just walking back. We'll be using the ultimate, so we'll see if he can make anything happen on that bot lane. Meanwhile, doesn't look like much is happening. Okay, here we go. Here comes the fight. The TP is there as well. Higher Echelon is now ignited, forced to walk away, but the spear does so much damage. And now here is Instrument trying to salvage what he can from this fight, but the shields from Karma are keeping iSmellBad alive for even longer than should be possible. Bento does get the knockup, but that don't matter as the top laner Instrument goes down, and it might be even worse as the root is there, and you do become unstoppable, but that does not stop the CC, and that is iSmellBad becoming unstoppable on this Pantheon.
Yeah, stopping a fed Pantheon is a nightmare. Stopping a Pantheon that just got a triple is an even taller order to go through. Look at this. Only had 2 items, and will be a hell of a more of a threat with it. Turning this around, yeah, Pantheon will just eviscerate you. If you think you can just kind of solo lane here, you're just asking.
Look at that Karma shield.
Yeah, it's bad.
That Karma shield is ridiculous. Like, that is just so much damage that they are protecting from. And Bento is trying to make something happen, but just, again, your W does block CC, but doesn't remove it completely. So as soon as your W is done, the root comes through again. Otacon picked up here for the side of TMG. They are in full control of this game.
It just felt so weird that FFM took that fight. Like, yeah, if your Rise is going to go down, just cut your losses and leave it on there, because Camille, as strong as she is, she's not going to be able to take on the entire team. And speaking of the entire team,
will 4 people be enough to take out the Aatrox? The ultimate comes through. Bento is going to be the one picking up that kill. Probably not the one they wanted. Instrument getting chased by Meta Shift. The flash is there. The E will land. The Q across the wall. But the Camille shield will be enough to keep him alive for now, as he is just barely able to walk out. Great use of the passive there by Instrument.
Yep. Got it out. And the tower does go down. Looking like TMG Paladins want to try to put a stop to something, cutting off these recalls and just pressuring on the top side of the map. As their Pantheon, iSmellBad happily splitting it on downwards, getting all this CC, but let's take a look what happened here.
Okay, so 4v1, Barcode, this is just kind of, again, you have to play safe moment. Like, what are you doing? Like, obviously, going to be a bit rough. You can't fight 4 of the enemy team. But Bento picking up the kill, not likely what they want. Instrument goes a different direction than the rest of his teammates, so now he's on his own. And then, again, that was just a really, really great auto attack there by Instrument to make sure that he could survive with that shield. And so they do manage to get the dive, get the tower, and make it out safely.
Jeez, look at that Pantheon. 3 full items. And as well as a boots ready to go. It's a hella scary Pantheon that will basically be able to 1v1 any person on the enemy team. So it's going to take 2 to actually bring down this beast.
But the waves are
Ye-
looking in real good position for FFM, though.
Absolutely. Most of them are pushed in, and we will have to see what they are able to accomplish here. As, oh my goodness, if we look at that gold here, over 10k on the Pantheon, as he is able to get is he able? Oh no, he wasn't quite able to finish Death Dance, so is still very strong with the Eclipse, with the Sundered Sky. Looks like that so far objective is in control of TMG, and we'll have to see how they play this fight, as they could secure Soul Point here.
Chain Lance Crusher's ready to go. Dragon is spawning. Try to put that pressure on. I think a trade's going to happen. They're going to give up the Dragon in exchange for top side pressure. Ornn lingering around, has ult ready to go as well. So Barcode just going to have to give it up. You're going to let this happen.
This is just the sad top lane experience. You know, your team is winning, but you're not allowed to have fun. You're just constant targets for the enemy team because they know they can't win that team fight, so they have to force you off. And Barcode walking away, because if you had stayed, you would have died and lost the tower anyway. So just kind of forced to walk away. Not a fun game for the Aatrox here, but again, his team is just making so many other plays around the map.
And here it comes. Ornhorn Bellows.
Oh, Ornhorn, but that might be slightly out of range, so the Camille ult will come through. The Karma shields keeping Pantheon alive for way longer. Those are some broken shields, man, as Hexify manages to land that kill onto Instrument. Again, you cannot engage into that Karma, as she will keep her teammates alive way, way longer than you think she will.
Yeah. No way that they're able to get away with that one. And you know what to me is really sad about this, Zazuko?
What's that?
We have not seen a good bullet time because of how many times they're just getting picked off on the side or just trying to go for an engage where everyone's not there.
Yeah, I don't think we have seen a full team fight this game. Every single one has been, 2v2s or 2v3 skirmishes just all around the map. And in those scenarios, obviously the team with global ultimates like the Pantheon are going to succeed. Ryze, his ultimate is a lot more predictable, and here we go. Chris will get caught by the Sejuani ultimate and is looking for another flag and drag. Is dangerously low, uses the flash as well. He managed to make his escape, but here we go. Pantheon does decide he will make escape. And the snipe is enough to take out Chris. Hexify will finish off Bento as well. And that is 2-0 for the side of TMG. And Baron is next on the menu.
This Baron could be risky, though. And as soon as they say that, actually, that a misfortune. Oh, the bullet time is not here. And Camille way overstepping. Good against CC and pieced up.
A little bit too far there for Instrument, as now this Baron is a lot more safe to take for the side of TMG. 3 free kills and full control of the map.
Yeah, and Aatrox, depressingly, sadly, my team's winning at least. That's what you're saying to yourself. You're the Aatrox player.
I've played a lot of top lane, and this has happened quite a bit. Your team is doing great, but because of that, the enemy team is like, you know what, we're gonna bully you. You are not going to have fun this game. And that is just, one of those, yeah, you might not have fun, but at the end of the day, if you win, isn't that the most fun thing for all of us here?
And especially how hungry they are to break their curse. They already broke their no game wins curse off of that Garen dub. And now they may take their first series win against FFM, who their curse still remains where every single game goes to game number 3. Turning this one around is really just going to require them to get maybe a nice pick off using the Jarvan's ult, or just a godlike bullet time from this misfortune that we have yet to see because of how well that TMG has been playing.
Let's take a look at the replay here. As it looks like Chris, again, the Sejuani E lands, guaranteeing the ultimate, and the flash, flag and drag. You think Chris has gotten out, but the prediction ultimate from Pantheon is perfect. The spear is enough to take him out. And Bento, with none of his team around, obviously
here comes a fight.
Is a support Ornn. And meanwhile, we have a fight going down in the bot lane here, as it looks like Aatrox is the first one to fall, first one to get a kill. I'm sorry, as finally Karma will actually die, but it doesn't matter. That's 3 dead on the side of FFM. The bullet time coming through. does manage to land this time, but here comes
Penta!
Pantheon! Not, unfortunately, the Panther.
No,
It was a quadra, unfortunately.
I'm so
we still
sad.
need to get we still need to get excited about that. It is a quadra kill for I Smell Bad, and that might just be the end of the game.
They could still go for the Penta. It's still there.
I don't think it's possible because Aatrox got that first kill, I believe. I think I saw that as the replay was transitioning as Bento gets a 3-man knockup, but you are a support, Ornn. You are not going to be living. The ace picked up here for Meta Shift. TMG going into this game did not have a win to their name. They decided to change the script, and game 3 going over to TMG, clutching out this series and putting themselves on the board.
They did it! They actually did it! They broke their curse already with a game win, and then the series dub afterwards with a dominating performance by Stone Cold. I Smell Bad, Stone Cold, it don't matter. You got the dub off of the team's efforts and meta shift. Fantastic stuff with the jungle works. And Barcode holding it down, saying, yep, I might be getting bullied out in here, but my team is winning out. I can apply that sideline pressure. And the way and the karma, fantastic stuff in the team fight presence, but damn, they actually did it.
Okay, we have figured out the secret sauce. You have to go 3 tanks, or 3 tanky characters in your top side. You know, Garrett, Budo, Udyr, or Sejuani, Aatrox, Pantheon, it don't matter. If you have that front line, you will win. TMG Paladins. We're going to be taking a look at that last fight. It looks like just higher echelon, just again, out of position, which has been the name of the game in this series. Caught out, unable to make any sort of play after that. As Fortress Door will go down, but like we said, Aatrox getting that first kill unfortunately meant that the pentakill was no longer on the menu, but a quadra still picked up here for the Pantheon. What a game coming out of him on this one.
I feel like the pentakill could have happened if Sejuani didn't take it at the end. Like, I felt like that. It could have happened, but it don't matter.
I think if the entirety of the enemy team loses or dies, I think the pentakill resets. So, not 100% sure, but it don't matter. At the end of the day, the dub is what we care about as League of Legends players, and that is definitely a dub that TMG Paladins are going to remember. What a game coming up from them. I think, at least for me personally, the MVP is a very, very clear choice, but I want to hear your opinions first. Who do you think is going to be the main attraction here for TMG after the series win?
You might think it's Stone Cold, but I personally think it's Meta Shift.
All right, I would love to hear your explanation.
I feel like that Stone Cold was able to get so much off it, and like the kills matter, like the roaming pressure as well, but Meta Shift's ability to be able to set up ganks for all of the lanes too, like it was a constant pressure, was being able to relieve that off of Stone Cold and being able to let this snowball happen. So I feel like that, you know, the obvious answer would be, you know, Stone Cold, but I feel like in a series whole, I feel like Meta Shift was able to provide a lot more.
Very, very well argued. I still personally think, I think Stone Cold had a fantastic series.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Definitely was. I believe he played Syndra in the game 1. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when your whole team is losing, it's hard to look good. But still, think I did relatively okay. But in these last 2 games, it was just by far one of the main catalysts in what allowed his team to win. So I am still personally going to give the MVP over to, at least in my opinion, to Stone Cold, but absolutely Meta Shift. Fantastic series as well, playing especially on the Udyr and Sejuani games.
Mm-hmm. This is why the vote is done by multiple people, because like if
that
it's just
very, very true.
because Stone Cold did crazy though, like 14 kills on Pantheon, constant roaming pressure, for sure the MVP of that game, like with no doubt, like that was just crazy. Being able to
I think you're just very against Garen. I think that's why you're not giving it to him.
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
But hey,
you're damn
if
right.
you're able to pull out, you know, like Pantheon obviously is not off meta, but still isn't as common of a mid laner as he is in like jungle or in top lane. So pulling out, you know, these picks that are not quite as comfortable to play against could also be a factor as well. So very important to consider. But I think pulling out these two weird picks, maybe not necessarily off meta, and executing them like that is just so effective here. So Wolfie, do you have any final comments you want to say to anybody before we sign off for the evening?
Honestly, fantastic stuff. League's a fun game when you don't have someone in your ear telling you how bad it is. Competitive stuff on there. Zazakiel, fantastic having you on the play-by-play. It's been years since I casted League, and you did a perfect job with being able to.
Thank you. Same to you. It was a ton of fun being back here at Titan. And please don't go. Please keep in mind for the rest of our streams coming out later on this week, we have Conqueror tomorrow, and make sure that you tune in for that as well. But for all of us here at Titan, stay safe out there, everybody. We will see you all next time. Take care.